the longest bridge in Louisiana, the longest bridge in the United States, and the 8th longest bridge in the world, and therefore probably the universe. Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to bridges. Where would we be without bridges? Well, for one, we'd be stuck on the other side of the river. But as with most things when comparing Britain and America, there's one thing in particular to keep in mind. Size. The longest bridge in Britain is the Bromford Viaduct in Birmingham. What have I told you about too many bees? And at 5,600 meters in length, it's no slouch itself. If you could take it and stand it vertically end to end, you'd have an architectural disaster on your hands. But you'd also have a skyscraper about 7 times the height of the Burj Khalifa. And so given that, I was surprised to find, both after moving to America and while researching this video, that there are numerous bridges in the United States that absolutely dwarf Britain's biggest. Arguably even more surprising is that they don't even include some of the more famous ones, such as the Golden Gate, the Brooklyn, and Jeff bridges. But before we get into what it does include, what do I mean by the verb dwarf? Well, my really scientific criteria is any bridge that's twice the length of the Bromford Viaduct. And again, much to my surprise, this does not include other behemoths like the Manchac Bridge, which, for any Uncle Tobys out there, is pronounced Mackinac Bridge. Hard pronunciations are going to be a constant feature of this video, and so without further ado, let's take a look at 8 US bridges that absolutely dwarf the Bromford Viaduct. In America, bridges really don't come any bigger than this, except the other 7 bridges on the list. The San Mateo Hayward Bridge is the longest bridge in San Francisco, California, and the 8th longest in America. It's also quite a unique bridge because in connecting the San Francisco Peninsula to the East Bay, it's an L shape. And I can personally connect to that letter as somebody called Lawrence, who runs a channel called Lost in the Pond, who owns a lake in Liechtenstein. I might have made that last part up just to inflate my ego, I'm sorry. But whichever way you slice it, the San Mateo Hayward Bridge is considerably bigger than the Golden Gate Bridge, or even the Oakland Bay Bridge, which I thought was absolutely humongous. Then again, I do tend to overcompensate. At a whopping 11,270 meters, the San Mateo Hayward Bridge is almost exactly equal to 2 Bromford Viaducts. So can it really get bigger than that? Well, yes it can, and we're still talking about bridges. Thank goodness for the Jubilee Parkway. Not only does it offer a direct route across Mobile Bay, but it's easy to pronounce. It's even easier if you go by the local name of Bayway, but then I just think of Baywatch, something I haven't had to do since 1995. It is the longest bridge in the state of Alabama and the 7th longest in the United States. At a quite mouth-watering 12,875 meters, it is roughly equal to 2.3 Bromford Viaducts. But despite being a pulsatingly large stretch of concrete, it's not even the longest bridge in the Deep South. Yep, they just keep getting longer. I mean, it would be an anticlimactic video if they didn't. The Louisiana Highway One bridge is the 6th longest bridge in the United States and the 5th longest in the state of Louisiana. Wait, hold on. The 5th longest bridge in Louisiana. So we're saying that 4 of the remaining 5 bridges on this list are all in Louisiana. Are you sure these aren't just all one bridge? Well, while the Louisiana Highway One bridge might not be the most inspiring name of all time, it does also mercifully and epically go by the name of Gateway to the Gulf Expressway. And this bridge in particular is designed to cross the Bayou Lafourche. That is a brilliant name. Now I know what I'm going to name my next cat. And hopefully that cat, or indeed any cat, will be as long as this, otherwise we're all doomed. The Gateway to the Gulf Expressway, which is not a name you dreamt, is 13,300 meters. In other words, a quite large 2.4 Bromford Viaducts. I told you that the bridges are getting bigger and more challenging, but then so are the names. Bonnet car, bonnet carré, bonnet car, bonnet car. The bonnet of a car in British English. That'd be an easy way to remember it. That's not it. So the locals go with something like bonnet carry. Let me know in the comments below how you pronounce it. Either way, the Bonnet Carrere Spillway Bridge of Interstate 10 is the 5th longest bridge in the United States and the 4th longest in Louisiana. And it's a twin bridge, so if one of them gets a traffic jam, the other one will sense it. And it's an absolutely massive bridge, but then it'd have to be. After all, it carries I-10 not just across the Bonneau-le-Carre Spillway, but also across Lake Pontchartrain, and La Branch wetlands. In all, and this is not taking both twins and putting them one after the other, this is just the sort of length of them side by side. The bridge measures in at an absolutely filthy 17,702 metres, which for anybody who can't do the maths, is 3.2 Bromford Viaducts. Did anybody expect when we started this video that it could go 3 times the distance? Could it go 4? Yes, it can. Some bridges have it all, but few more so than the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. Like many of the bridges on this list, it does include low-level trestles, but it also includes high-level trestles, tunnels, truss bridges, and artificial islands. It is the longest bridge in the state of Virginia and the 4th longest bridge in the US. It's also one of only 11 bridge tunnel systems in the world, 3 of which are in Virginia. And as the name suggests, it crosses the mouth of Chesapeake Bay, but also the Hampton Roads Harbour and the mouths of Elizabeth and James rivers. In total, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel comes in at a decidedly smooth 24,140 metres, or 4.3 Bromford Viaducts. We're getting to the point where I didn't even know bridges this long existed outside of Southeast Asia. But when it comes to bridges, one US state stands alone in its pursuit of China: Louisiana. Bear with me on this one. I can't do, what is it? Atchafalaya, I take it all back. That is the new cat name. The Atchafalaya Basin Bridge is the 3rd longest bridge in both the United States and the state of Louisiana. It's another twin bridge, and it's another one that facilitates Interstate 10, which stretches over the Atchafalaya Basin between Baton Rouge and Lafayette. And the bridge is so massive it's almost as long as some of these place names. And that's because at 29,290 metres, it's 5.2 Bromford Viaducts. Louisiana's bridges, you are massive and you need to be stopped. But before we can do that, there are 2 more. Oh, would you look at that, the Manchac Swamp Bridge is another twin trestle. But this one is different for a number of reasons. Firstly, it goes over a swamp, right? I didn't know the world had swamps big enough to have a bridge this size. But that's because I live a sheltered life up north. But also, it is the longest bridge on the US interstate highway system. You may recall that I spoke about that very system in my video, Britain's Roads Ain't Got Nothing on America, which I will link to at the end. And this one is so unspeakably large that I'm now being forced to speak about it. From start to finish, the Manchac Swamp Bridge is 36,710 metres, giving you approximately a number I cannot believe: 6.6 Bromford Viaducts. Never mind viaducts. I don't even know if I have that many tier ducts. I'm not a scientist. But I guarantee you, if I was on that bridge and there was still over halfway to go, the tiers would never end. Especially if I later connected to this. The longest bridge in Louisiana, the longest bridge in the United States, and the 8th longest bridge in the world, and therefore probably the universe. It is the world's longest continuous bridge over water, or should I say, bridges, because the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is made up of 2 parallel bridges. But they're not quite twinsies, because just like my arms, one is longer than the other. And this humongous causeway spans the centre line of Lake Pontchartrain, a lake that boasts a surface area just larger than Greater London. It's so long that due to the curvature of the earth, people at the centre of the bridge can't see land on either side. In all, a single commute across that bridge can take up to an hour, so at this point, I'm in favour of private jets. And so the time has come to see how Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, America's longest bridge, compares to Britain's. At 38,442 metres, the causeway extends a frankly stupid 24 miles, or to put it another way, 46 horizontal Burj Khalifas. And so that means, ladies and gentlemen, that the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is 6.9 Bromford Viaducts. I need coffee and tequila. And so there you have it, 8 US bridges that dwarf Britain's longest. Let me know in the comments below if you've travelled on any of these bridges and if you're still going. For more maps, facts, stats, and pictures of my cat, follow me on Twitter at LostInThePondUS, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. A Burj Khalifa size shout out to all of my patrons who make these videos possible. If you would like to support this channel and make it grow like a Louisiana bridge, you can do so at patreon.com/LostInThePond. Until next time, goodbye.